So I want to thank you all for coming out. It's really, really nice. I'm so grateful for your presence. This one is called Bird of Paradise. And it's actually, the poem is about the cover of my book, Copper Woman. And it's a woman selling flowers, and she's nursing a baby behind the flowers. And it's a mural that was, not a mural, it's a painting that was done by the Mexican painter Diego Rivera. I like it a lot. So the poems that I mentioned, the flowers, Bird of Paradise, Ginger Lily, and Orchids are in the painting, but also, as I looked at the painting, I realized that these are some of the flowers that we grow in our yard in Jamaica. Everybody has like Ginger Lily and Bird of Paradise in their yard. So the picture inspired this poem. And there's a woman, of course, at the center of it. At dawn, my mother stands on the hill behind our house and invokes the sun to rise. Then she goes to the outdoor kitchen and prepares cassava bread and cocoa tea for our breakfast. My mother sells fruits and flowers in the market, stuff she grows with her own hands. She does not solicit customers. They come to her of their own volition, and at the end of each day, her items are all sold out. Now at age 42, my mother decides to stop having children, but not because her blood has ceased. I have peopled the world with numerous men and women. Now it's time for me to birth other things. My mother's back and feet grow tired, so I anoint them with coconut oil. Her feet, a detailed map, her back, the star apple tree outside our front door. My mother has never traveled abroad, but she knows tales of every land. She says the flowers in her garden, especially the ginger lily, the orchid, and the bird of paradise, bring her such tidings. My mother is short. All her children tower above her. Some do not even recognize her as they pass by in the marketplace. They are ashamed of this fruit and flower woman, this woman who fed them fish soup and roast breadfruit that made them so strong. Sometimes they mock her. She looks like something out of a Rivera mural, they jest, but my mother does not hear. Her ears are beyond their words. In the evening when she grows weary, my mother sings lullabies to the sun to entice it to sleep so the dark can come. It is in the darkness we grow strong, she tells us. How wise she is, this woman with a life that no one can capture. How essential she is, this woman who makes gardens flower and who feeds us milk and cornbread. I watch her as she descends the hill to the marketplace, her skirt at her knee, her black hair flecked with gray. And this following poem is inspired by the birth scene in a film called Sankofa, actually. A pregnant woman runs away. She is caught and taken back to her plantation. For her punishment, she is given 100 lashes. The woman dies, her belly bulging in front of her. A midwife on the plantation decides to deliver the child from the dead woman. And so I link the midwife woman to Queen Nanny of the Jamaican Maroons, who was a leader of the Maroons, and Nanny was also a midwife. So the poem is called "The Child is Alive." And a niece of Granny Nanny, an Akan woman, a woman who can see far, a woman with the knowledge of herbs, a woman who works in the field cutting cane, a woman who speaks the language of her grandmothers, A woman who tells stories of magical animals and of talking trees and of fabled cities beneath mighty rivers. A woman who was stolen from her village when she was 14. A woman who was raped on the slave ship by the sailors. A woman who flies to Africa when she sleeps. This woman, this niece of Granny Nanny, takes her cutlass and runs with the swiftness of Sogolon Conde in her guise as Buffalo Woman. This woman runs with her machete, an ancient chant rising from her throat, an ancient chant imploring God and all the spirits that attend women in childbirth to come to her aid. She calls her companions, form a circle around the dead woman. Breathe, 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 give her breath, give her life. This woman, this niece of Granny Nanny, enters the circle with her cutlass, the ancient chant leaping from her lips, cuts open the belly of the dead woman and releases the child. Oh, praise to God! The child is alive. Oh, Onyame, take the spirit of the mother. Praises, praises, praises. In the midst of our misery and pain, in the midst of humiliation and grief, in the midst of this inhumanity, the child lives. Our world is turned upside down. Day becomes night and night becomes day, and the dead is giving birth to the living. Oh, Onyame, oh, great God, take the spirit of the mother. This woman, this niece of Granny Nanny, the ancient midwife, dances with the child, backward, forward, sideward, spins, and joins her companions, dancing like the priestess she would have been had not slavery stolen her away from her people. The woman dances, she holds the child up to the sky, blessings. Oh, praise to God, the child is alive. Oh, Onyame, take the spirit of the mother. Praises, 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 because the child lives. Woy, woy, woy. The child is alive. Thank you. Onyame is the word in Tree, the Akan languages in West Africa, for God. So this poem, it's the last one, it's called Rara, and it was written in the honor of the carnival in Fort-de-France, Martinique. So and I were talking about how people, enslaved Africans, come into this part of the world, created new culture. Because they brought in their head, even though they came naked and they brought an entire civilization in their heads. And so Rara is culture, it's music, it's flag making, it's art. It came from Dahomey, or the Republic of Benin, and Haitian people took Rara to a new level. So when I was in Martinique, in Fort-de-France, which is the capital, it was carnival, and they had all these Rara bands marching on the island. So I wrote this poem. What is this I hear? And I should also say that the Caribbean, Martinique, and all those islands were originally inhabited by Aboriginal people, indigenous people, sometimes we call them Amerindian people. So Queen Anacaona, I mentioned her. She was the queen of Hispaniola. She met Columbus. Columbus killed her. So in the poem, I invoke Anacaona and, of course, Toussaint Louverture and Dessalines and all those heroes of the Haitian Revolution. What is this I hear? 1,000 drums playing, rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat-tat-tat, and Max Roach conducting, rat-a-tam, rat-a-tam, rat-a-tam-tam-tam. trap drums, djembe, and congos, and the voices of 100 archangels chanting into the wind. Ra ra. The drums scream the names of Dahomey, but this is Fort de France. Dahomey is on the other side of the ocean. What is this I hear? Rah-rah drums awakening the city. A dog howls. I look through the window. He dives into the sea and disappears while swimming to the other side of the harbor. A cock, its circadian clock recalibrated, crows at 15 minutes to midday. Rah-rah rhythms have remade the world. But this is not Haiti. How come these rah-rah people are marching all over Fort de France, sending vibrations into the earth, the air, and the sky, answering secret rhythms with sacred rhythms? I am sure they are not mortal beings, but a celestial horde on the march with Babatunde Olatunji, master drummer. The sound of trap drums, sa-sa-ye-ing up to the hills, to Didier, Montartenson, to Trenel, even up to the Balata Road, way past Tivoli, to the volcano named Montpellier, and from the peak of the hill, the drummers and trumpeters look down onto the harbor, look way past the horizon, and beat their thoughts into the air, sending back the colonizer and Indian killer, Desnambuc, to the deepest dungeon of France, recrowning Châteauguay, beating the martial rhythms for triumphant Kalinago warriors, reversing the slave trade, stitching whole again Africa. And in the distance, from the direction of Lamentin, I hear the pounding of hooves. Doom, 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 doom. The earth trembles in unexpected bliss. I see clouds of brown dust spiraling into the sky. I feel the hot breath of panting steeds rushing toward Fort de France. Somewhere there is a clash of cymbals. A gate opens. Mounted men holding a landscape of Osafa flags rush through. Sparks of fire rise from the horses' hooves. What is this? The cavalry, led by the fugitive slave named Mathieu Léveillé? From the savannah, the drummers advance, beating on 1,000 drums, blowing on horns and trumpets, bamboo sticks, shak, 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 shak. African captives chained at the bottom of slave ship, drowned in the shipwreck at Anse-Cafard, and way up north at Montpellier. I can hear them, weeping and wailing and gnashing their teeth, a fury of chains clanking as the ship crashed on the rock and sank to the bottom of the sea. Somber ghosts stand on the beach, look across the ocean. Take us back to Benin, take us back to Benin. Now they walk across the landscape at Diamond Rock, beating their chest and chanting a saltwater dirge. Meanwhile, across the world, in Tromlan, a sandspit in the Indian Ocean, Anse-Cafard repeats itself, but a child named Moïse or Moses is saved from the water, and he is placed on a raft. Somehow guided by ocean currents, he finds his way to Fort de France and paint the scenes of his destiny. Rah-rah from Dahomey, rah-rah from Haiti, rah-rah in Fort de France, rah-rah blowing onto the Caribbean Sea, towards St. Lucie and La Dominique, way up to Les Îles des Vierges and down to the tip of Venezuela, creating this archipelago of sounds. And then a boy, 14 years old, pierces the air with the fury from his trumpet, and suddenly the cacique, Bohichio, stirs from his sleep, rubs his eyes, grabs his conch shell, and blows a message to Hatui, to Louverture, to Desaline, to Christophe, to Cécile, Fatima, and Huracan, 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 the lord of the hurricane, blows his breath over the sea, and people say, hurricane a come, hurricane a come, hurricane a come, unu better run. Meanwhile, Anacaona, on the tallest point of Haiti, Anacaona, Empress of Hispaniola, stands on the tallest point of Haiti, and whirlwinds, 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 a final dance for independence. Ra, 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 ra.